Okay, okay. All right. So, my name's Madalene Mofu. I come from Zambia, and right now I work in mpongwe district, though I live in Wansha. So, for me, my journey started in 2018 when I got a transfer to work at the rural setup in mpongwe district. And during my first year of service, I was able to note quite a number of attempted suicide cases. So I started to wonder what could have been the reason why most women were attempting suicide. So, out of curiosity, I started going into the communities to talk to different families and women, especially those women that I was counseling. And in due time, I wrote an abstract on the impact of insufficient resource allocation towards the mental health sector. Um, One of the days to come, there was an opening for people to hand in their abstracts so that they could have a chance to speak at the mental health conference. And I thank God that I was selected to be one of the panelists. And when I went there, um, I was standing in a room full of a lot of women. Actually, there were more than 200 women at that conference. And what I noted was most of the women, when they were called upon to speak, it's like the whole conference knew them. And you could tell from the portfolios they had that actually these were women who were learned and they had huge, huge, huge portfolios. And when it was my time, I remember the facilitator called me and said, so now we are calling Madeleine to come in front and give us a presentation of our abstract. And the first thing I noted was that I didn't get the kind of upload that most of the panelists were getting because they were known and I wasn't. The only thing that I had was my diploma as a mental health nurse. And I went there only because of my passion, and that is what took me there. So I stood in front of a crowd of more than 200 women to speak about my work and also about the abstract, especially on the impact of insufficient resource allocation towards the mental health. I gave them a story about one of my patients who was molested, and the people who did that were not apprehended. And I talked about what the government would have done to help us, especially in the mental health sector. And after I was done with my presentation, I got the upload that I did not get when I actually stood up to give my abstract. And so from that, I learned something. And the one thing that I learned was that it does not matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what portfolios you hold. Your passion for something would take you very far. You will stand in front of people that you never thought that you would. And because your passion is what took you there, it would take you even further than the places where you thought you would never be. So from that situation, I also learned that I was capable of achieving so much more than I thought I would. And so I left feeling impacted. I left feeling empowered. And that conference changed my life because from then I started to dream higher. I thought about more things that I could achieve. I thought about my abstract and I knew that doing or writing the abstract was not enough. The fact is, in the community, there were a lot of women who were struggling, women who were facing gender based violence, women who had nowhere to go for social and economic empowerment. But was it enough that I was standing in front of hundreds of people to talk about my abstract? It wasn't. So I went back and I thought, what solutions do we need in our community? And that is when I decided to establish a community based organization that is focused on social and economic empowerment of women and persons with disabilities. And that is how Coalition for Rural Women Empowerment was born. And from then, I didn't stop. I actually started to read more. I read quite a lot and I got a lot of certificates. I think I have more than 20 certificates because I thought of self-development as a way of empowering myself. And I kept reading. And from that, I began to explore more opportunities. And right now, I am grateful for what God has done. And I'm also grateful for everything that He's putting ahead of me, because it has helped to challenge me to know that you are not limited to what you can do. Only you, if you challenge yourself, you can do more than what you think you can. If you stand and challenge your mind to say, I think I'm capable of doing this and that, you are capable. And so it starts with self-motivation. It starts with passion as a person. It starts with personal development. And that is how we are able to achieve so much more than we thought we could. And so today I'm happy to be a part of WomenAscension as a country representative. And I'm also happy to be part of Nations of Women as a chapter leader, as well as a country ambassador for Women Entrepreneurship Day organization. And so this is what I want to say to every woman out there. If you have a passion for something, just go for it. Don't pull yourself down, regardless of where you come from and what you have achieved so far. You can do it. Thank you.